Well, it's Thursday, and you all know what that means. As you know, we have Ring of Honor. For those who may remember or not, I actually attended AEW Collision, but they also had Ring of Honor matches, and I have to admit they had a whole stack of matches on this one. But so we're gonna, even though I already was witnessed it, I decided, you know what, let's review it, no matter what. And then of course we have TNA. As you probably know, we are having some very interesting moments. As you know, Steve Macklin will set the record straight what's been going on. Mickey James will be in the face-to-face confrontation with Ash by Elegance. Mike Santana teams up with Leon Slater to take on the Menace brothers, and plenty other matches as well. And then, of course, as always, we'll wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got through Nagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough of the jibber jabbers, let's get to it. So, let's begin with Ring of Honor. Okay, Ring of Honor in Oceanside / San Diego. For those who know this already, I was there. But of course, there were certain things that you may not have seen, like video promos and all that stuff. But we'll get through all of it. Now, we opened up with the infantry, as you know, very stoked and exciting to see Trish Adora, as you know, will be facing Deonna Purrazzo for the Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Championship, which is something we know that Trish Adora has been aiming for. And now she believes that this time she's going to take that belt off of her. Now, our first match, we have JD Drake versus Adam Priest. Now, as you probably know, Adam Priest did roll around with, of course, the Workhorsemen until, of course, Adam Priest teamed up with Tommy Billington, then with Jay Lethal, and then, of course, all this. But the one thing that JD Drake could not stand is the fact that Priest decided to have a match against Okada. So basically, he's like trying to teach him a lesson. And you can tell because of the size difference between them, JD Drake was trying to use a whole lot of hurt onto him, but Priest was able to overcome it. When he rolled him up, 1, 2, 3, he picked up the win. Now, our next match, we have the Frat House, consisting of Griff Garrison and Cole Carter, but of course we had Jack Jameson and Preston Vance in tow. They take on TMDK, consisting of Shane Hayes and Bad Dude Tito. Now, keep in mind, folks, Shane Hayes is now a free agent, from my understanding. I don't know exactly what the plans is. I don't know if he's planning to expand the TMDK in the US. That's something I'm not sure. But man, they took a lot of beating from, of course, dealing with guys like, of course, with the frat house. But it was Shane Hayes that picked up the win onto Cole Carter. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Our next match is for the ROH Women's World Television title. Jada Stone takes on, of course, straight out of your mama's kitchen, Red Velvet. Of course, the match was going to be intense. I mean, you would have assumed that somehow Jada Stone would have been able to pick up the win, but we all know better that Red Velvet is the strongest individual. She applied a beautiful heel kick onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, of course, TMDK were celebrating the fact that they won this match, but they were, of course, confronted by the infantry, more specifically Sean Dean and Carly Bravo, until the rest of Shane Taylor Promotions attacked them from behind. We're talking about, of course, Shane Taylor, that idiot Anthony Ogogo, and Lee Moriarty. They're sending a direct message to Robbie Eagles. As you know, Sean Dean lost to him when they were in Australia. So basically, he's crying like a little bitch about it, so you probably can tell. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Robbie Eagles does team up with Bad Dude Tito and Shane Hayes for the World Six-Man Tag Team titles. That's something we know because we know that Robbie Eagles had held titles like those in the past. Now, our next match, we have seen these guys team up before. We have the GYV, Grizzled Young Vets, Zach Gibson, and James Drake teaming up with the Bounty Hunter, Brian Keith, and of course, Big Bill. They take on CJ Tino, Richie Slade, Chikara, and Dom Kubrick. Now, obviously, this match was going to go in favor of GYV and Keith and Big Bill, which obviously was going to happen. Well, we did see a double big boot coming from Brian Keith and to, of course, by Big Bill onto CJ Tino, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our next match, we have Sky Team consistent of Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin, along with Scorpio Sky to take on Los Suavecitos. Many of you who know them from the Independence, Adrian Quest, Danny Rose, and Ricky G. Now, we did see some interesting moments, some spots, of course, some great coordination from both sides from the bracket. But, however, it was, of course, a great combination of applying a springboard cutter onto Danny Rose, and Dante Martin was the one who picked up the win. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, next match, we have Jay Lethal versus Tommy Billington. Now, if you guys remember, Tommy Billington and Adam Priest were, of course, teaming up with Jay Lethal until he turned his back and Bandito and decided it would swirl, of course, that sort of thing. And Tommy Billington is telling him, you better fight me like a man instead of a coward. But, of course, he did fight him valiantly until, of course, Swirl shows up and evened the odds until Jay Lethal decided to apply the lethal injection, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, we did see Deonna Purrazzo, of course, calling Trish Adora, telling her, this is not your straight-up normal match. This is pure rules, which is something that it's not really in Trish Adora's alley. This is something that will be in Deonna Purrazzo's alley. So we'll see how that turns out when we get there. Now, Tony Nese takes on Commander. As you probably know, that idiot Smart Mark Sterling has a personal vendetta against, of course, luchadores. What he's calling them a disease, something that needs to be plucked away. So they decided to start out with Commander. Well, we all know Commander, how great and talented he is, not to mention with high-flying spots. But in the end, it was, in fact, a running springboard, a shooting star press onto Nese. 1, 2, 3. Commander picked up the win. Now, we did see, of course, the ROH World Television title in a proving ground match. Nick Wayne versus Lucas Riley. Now, obviously, this is Nick Wayne's return after being injured, so he hasn't. I don't think he's missed out a step. I think he's been training once he was ready to get back into training mode, but he did pretty good. He applied, of course, a super kick, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our main event is the ROH Women's Pure Championship. Trish Adora versus Deonna Purrazzo. But the one thing that was interesting is Trish Adora knew exactly how to dismantle Deonna Purrazzo, despite the fact that she targeted her left arm, ensuring that she does not apply any submission onto her. I mean, Deonna Purrazzo was constantly in pain trying to fight it off until she applied the Fujiwara armbar on Trish Adora, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. However, during the post-match, Deonna tried to apply the respect moment between them at the Code of Honor, but of course she was attacked by Diamante and Billy Starks, so you all know what that means. But it ended with, of course, a video promo from Athena, who is sick in her stomach to see that title not in the hands of the minions, or should I say, her minions, either Diamante or Billy Starks. So basically, now she is targeting Deonna Purrazzo, feeling that she does not even earn the right to hold that belt. Well, we know this belt was made for Deonna Purrazzo, but we'll see what happens down the line. But as of right now, we'll end things with Ring of Honor, move on with TNA. Okay, TNA. So we opened up, of course, with tag team action now. Originally, we were kind of hoping this was going to happen, but it happened this week. Mike Santana and Leon Slater taking on Nick Bennett, and he is his brother. The end. Yep, those two, of course, facing off. Now, of course, Mike Santana felt guilty, of course, for many of you, what happened in that tag match that he left them alone. But he wanted to make it up to him. But however, I don't know how this will make up because later on we did see Eric Young show up. Now, I don't know what's his deal or what he's trying to do. While Mike Santana keeps him at bay, uh, Leon Slater applied the Swanton 450, but later it was caught by, of course, Nick Bennett, and then apply, of course, a pinfall onto Slater, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, the Bennett brothers won, just like that. Now, we did see an interview with GM Miller talking to the Righteous about their teaming with the Hardys against the system. So they kind of said, that they need to trust them and that they will be helping them to deal with the system. Now, as you all know, the system, and recently they've been aiming at the Hardy Boys, of course, for the TNA World Tag Team belts. That's something that's been needless to say. Now, our next match is Deonna Purrazzo versus, Danny Luna taking on Li Yang Li. Now, this match was supposed to happen a month ago, but due to the situation with visas, it did not happen. So basically, you can see this was a bit of a preview to what is yet to come. Danny Luna takes on Li Yang Li. Yang Li did everything humanly possible to withstand every blow that she was thrown at, but unfortunately, she ended up with the lunar landing by Danny, of course. 1, 2, 3, done. Now, we did see in the back Alicia talking with Carlos Silva and Tommy Dreamer about, of course, her situation with TNA, about everything else. But it was Moose who looked out for her, saying, look, I know that you're dealing with this whole thing with the system, but let me worry about that. So he tells her that, no matter what happens, that he has her back. So basically, it's like he's looking out for her future, knowing too well that she has a lot to prove anyway. But we'll see where that goes from there. Now, as you know, AJ Francis and Mance Warner recently, they got into entanglement, so you can tell this match went into that. They've been going back and forth with each other in recent time. But we did see, of course, AJ Francis attempting to use the chair onto Mance Warner, but Stephanie Landers decided to stop him. But later she passed it on to, of course, Mance, and then he used it on AJ Francis, disqualifying himself, try to put a little bit of the hurt onto him. But of course, you can tell that this thing between these two guys are not even done, not just yet. So we'll see where that comes from there too. Now, we did see a bit of a face-to-face confrontation between, of course, Ash by Elegance and Mickie James. Now, if you guys remember, Mickie James came out because she was dissatisfied on how things turned out in one of the matches. But Ash by Elegance feel that she should have just minded her own business. But of course, Mickie James told her that it was her who, of course, who got her gig in TNA. But of course, Ash by Elegance wants to prove that, that she is the much bigger star. And of course, Mickie James is retired. We all know that. But they decided to, of course, the Elegance brands to ask her son, who was in the back. Mickie James, a concerned mother, tried to reach out until she was viciously attacked by the Elegance brand, and then Ash by Elegance DDT her on the stage platform, and just like that, leaving her. So basically, she's asking that she wants her match against her, wants to prove once and for all that now she is above her. But the real question is she? We know that Mickie James is a highly profiled wrestler than Ash, and Ash feels you're done, it's over. I'm gonna take that spot. So we'll see where that leads us. Now in the back, we did see Harley Hudson and Molly Grace found Jody Threat unconscious. And of course, Hudson got herself to get Santino to take a look. Now they weren't too sure who was it behind it. Was it, of course, the Elegance brands? Was it, of course, Tessa? We don't know. But Daria is saying that this is, of course, Santino's fault because of Ariana. As you know, Jody Threat does have a shot of the TNA Knockouts World Title. So, of course, Daria is trying to say that this is his fault, that he needs to fix this. But we don't know for sure exactly how that's going to happen, but we'll see. Now, our next match, we have Tasha Steelez versus Jada Stone. Of course, you all know these two have been going back and forth when, of course, Tasha Steelez decided to disrespect her. But there was a moment where, of course, both ladies tried to do the tope suicida, but they were both caught by the dumb hands until, of course, Tasha accidentally took out the dumb hands just to make sure. But, however, Jada Stone was able to overcome her problems when she, of course, applied a crucifix maneuver onto Steelez, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. Now Jada bounced out as soon as possible, but however, the dumb hands decided to get their hands on her and toss her back, allowing for Tasha to beat the holy crap out of her. But you probably can tell this is not far from over between those two. Now, Tom Hannafy decided to have a little chit chat with Stephen Macklin so he can get to hear the record straight. However, of course, the one thing that TNA was not going to tolerate is Macklin for his attitude for what he did, attacking Mike Santana and all this. But later we did see Macklin attack Tom Hannafy, just pouting. Security tried to get involved, so did Mike Santana. And then he shoved, of course, Matthew Winroll's, like, you know, he was out of control. But while Tom Hannafy was out, we did see after the commercial break that Gia Miller made her way. You know, she understands what this situation has been. I mean, don't forget, she was involved with Tessa Blanchard in a similar situation, but much, you know, different of it. But the situation was almost similar. But we'll see. Now, our main event is the System taking on the Righteous and the Hardys. Now, of course, the Hardys have no reasons to trust the Righteous, but they have no choice. But, however, the thing that really struck me is that Vincent took a bullet for Matt Hardy when, of course, Eddie Edwards applied the Boston Knee Party, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. The System won thanks to Eddie Edwards. And then, of course, they decided to give a little beatdown until Moose showed up. But, however, it was a 4-on-1 situation. Even Alicia even tried to stop it. But we don't know if she was successful or not. But sooner or later, something's going to give. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, we are officially done with some reviews. Let's move on with some news updates. Okay, welcome to our news updates. So let's begin with upcoming events. As you know, GCW will be making their way to Hartford, Connecticut real soon on the 29th of February. They just announced Brody Lee Jr. will be there for the Baller block-in. So that's going to be interesting. Don't know exactly what, of course, the leader of the Dark Order is planning to do. So we'll have to see. Now, as you all know, the Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling will be here in Las Vegas between the 16th and the 17th of April during WrestleMania week. And they already announced who will be participating in this event on the 16th and the 17th. So here's the participants for those who are planning to go to Las Vegas. We have Miyu Watanabe, Yuki Kamifuku, Yukana Yohara, Miyu Yamashita, Shoko Nakajima, Mizuki, Hyper Misao, Raku, Yuki Anoi, Suzumu, Pamada Juku. Well, let's see if that is able to happen. Uh, Yuki Arai, Kaya Toribami, Shino Suzuki, Imawari, Toga, and Uda Takomi. So that's pretty much the roster that will be participating in this event. I'm pretty sure there's still some names that are not involved, but we'll see. Now, as you all know, the Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling will be involved in Las Vegas as well. They just named the title of the show that will happen on the 17th of April. It's called Multiverse. A pretty catchy name, so that's pretty what's going on. Now, as you know, we're almost next be starting in May the annual Best of the Super Juniors, which is the annual tournament for the junior heavyweights who will be competing for a shot of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Now, the tournament will begin in Korakuen Hall on May 14th, and it stretches on to Oda Ward on the 7th of June. There'll be 13 dates, 4 Korakuen Hall shows, and a KBS Hall show, which is in Kyoto. So that one's going to be on the 24th, if I'm not mistaken. But for the Korakuen Hall shows, like I said, it starts on the 14th. Then they go back on the 20th. Then they do a back-to-back 2-day show on the 2nd and 3rd of June. So that's pretty much it for upcoming events. Now on to some developments. Reports are coming out. I'm not sure if it's 100% true or not, but they're saying that AAA will probably have some U.S. shows. I'm not sure, planning April. I mean, I don't know how this is gonna go because, as you know, they're with the current situation in Mexico. I'm not sure, as you all know, that they canceled some of their tapings because of it. But we'll see. I'll follow up on that. Takumi Iroha kind of talked about something else. As you all know, recently she's been teaming up with Suri, calling themselves Spark Rush. This is what she said about her teaming with Suri. When we first started teaming up, I thought we would disband if we lost the belts. But the moment we lost the belts, I felt like we had to win them back. But this year, I want 2 of us to go in various promotions overseas to snatch belts. So we each, in every match, I want to devour our opponents, rack up wins. We first teamed up, we kept messing up our moves. Suri asked, why don't we go practice together? And we started practicing at the gym. In pro wrestling, the real test begins when you are out of breath. So I think how we can synchronize is the state of crucial. That's why recently we have also been to the MMA gym together to deepen our bond even further. So basically, she has to learn how to team up, and that's a good thing. Team bonding experience, which is something many tag teams have to go through. I don't know if any of my subscribers are pro wrestlers and they have that type of thing they have to learn, learning how to bond with your partner. So we'll see how things go with them. But as of right now, we are done. Let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I messed up. I did not know we had a Fantastica Mania by New Japan and CML. So I may do that, and also the other one. I'm not sure if I'll be doing only that, another review, but I may focus on 2 New Japan shows. So we'll see how things will roll up from there. But after that, that's pretty much it. But as of right now, we'll leave things as it is, and that's the initial plan. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I'm about to bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.